Number one, the credit bureaus are not government agencies and reporting to them is optional. A common misunderstanding is thinking the credit bureaus are part of the US government. The fact is that Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion were set up as private enterprises. They were not set up by the government, they are not owned by the government, and they are not run by the government. There are laws that they must abide by, but then that is also true for other types of businesses as well. Think of it this way. Some dudes got the brilliant idea to keep track of everybody's spending and bill paying habits. And what a moneymaker that idea had turned out to be. They sell this personal information to create extreme wealth for themselves. TransUnion is owned by one of Chicago's wealthiest families, perhaps second to Oprah Winfrey. Equifax, now a public company, rakes in $1.5 billion per year. Experian is a UK company with an office in the United States. The way bureaus gather information about you and other consumers is to have companies report it to them. And get this, they charge companies to report information to them, which means they make money by information coming in and they make money by information going out. Nobody is required to oblige their requests for information. This means that credit card companies, department stores, automobile finance companies, and even mortgage companies do not have to report your payment information to the credit bureaus if they choose not to. Furthermore, bankruptcy courts do not provide information to the credit bureaus. All information the credit bureaus obtain about someone's bankruptcy is through third parties. More about that later in the chapter. Handling a bankruptcy. Important point. Reporting your payment history to one, two, or all of the credit bureaus is 100% voluntary. It is not required by law. This applies to both positive and negative credit. Because it costs money to report to each credit bureau. Not all companies report to all three bureaus. If a mortgage company wants to report your house paying habits to a credit bureau, it can, but it certainly doesn't have to. Your loan file belongs to the mortgage company. They keep track of who pays on the 1st of the month, on the 5th of the month, and who goes late after 30 days. It is their own private information about their own private customers. If they choose to report it, they can, but they can also choose to ignore the bureaus, which is what some of them do. Personally, I used to work for a mortgage lender that never reported any of their customers' payments, whether on time or late. Why? Because the lender knew that their competitors trolled credit reports for homeowners to solicit to refinance, and they didn't want their customers stolen away by another lender. Another good example is cell phone companies. Most of them do not report your payment history, whether on time or late, to the credit bureaus. The exception is if your bill goes extremely late and into the collection department. Typically, they will report a cell phone account that is in collections. Additionally, electric companies, cable televisions, as well as doctors and dentists don't choose to report to the credit bureaus unless your account goes into collections. So even if you pay your bills on time every month, year after year, they won't get one single positive point on your credit score for it. Some apartment rent management companies are now starting to report to the credit bureaus for those who pay their rent on time. This is good news. Another twist is that some companies report payment history to one credit bureau, but not all three, in order to save on reporting costs. This is why a person's credit score can vary widely from one bureau to the next. Not all the credit bureaus have all of your current information. They only have information that has been voluntarily reported to them by companies that have chosen to do so. This leads right into the next fact.